Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is LaMay Day Limelight. I am your creative correspondent, Sharíck LaMay. Of course, my lovely co-host,
j.Pin. You know what it is.
You know what it is. And we are live in Hollywood.
I know. We had to switch it up a little bit today for our special guest. Jess Phoenix will be joining us. And I'm really excited about her.
I love her so much. I've heard so much about her. She's an awesome person, Renaissance woman. She's a thrill seeker.
Yeah.
She's amazing. So I'm super happy to be interviewing her.
I had the chance to interview her for SoCal Magazine, and I was just blown away at her career and the things that she's accomplished, and so we're really excited to chat with her a little bit later.
Yes, great way to end off our Women's History Month, right? We started it off with a bang, we're going to end with a bang, all right?
Definitely.
So just, you know, a lot of things have been happening over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, we have to say bye to a piece of our childhood.
I know,
oh my gosh.
I know. R.I.P. Toys R Us.
Yes.
I'm a Toys R Us kid.
I was a Toys R Us kid. So I have really nice memories of going to Toys R Us as a child and, you know, just enjoying that place. I mean, we were too poor to get anything, but still, it was always a fun store to go to.
It was just to at least to walk around and be a kid, and it just tells you the times are moving, and maybe they didn't catch up with the times. And Amazon, as you know, is like the top retailer in the country. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but these things happen. So just another thing to memory over.
So dedication, salute.
Thank you, Toys R Us.
Thanks, Toys R Us, for making our childhoods lit.
It was lit, super lit. Speaking of lit,
so Gina Rodriguez.
Yes, my childhood.
Yes,
Carmen San Diego. That was okay. Go ahead and tell them.
So Gina Rodriguez is going to be playing Carmen Sandiego, a live action film for Netflix.
Yes,
this is big.
Huge.
I remember watching Carmen Sandiego.
It was amazing. Carmen Sandiego was everything. I got my geographical knowledge going with Carmen Sandiego. Me and my cousins used to play it all the time. Shout out to my cousin Erin, because she always was killing us on the game.
Yes.
But it was great. It was great. The show was amazing. And that's huge for her. She's a very philanthropic actress.
I really appreciate Gina for who she is. I love her on Jane the Virgin. But also she likes to shout out people that are doing things in different parts of the community.
Right.
I think this is really big for her. I'm really excited for, you know, just what she's going to bring to the character. I think she's an amazing actress, and you know, she definitely likes to shout out a lot of different people from different communities. So this is dope.
Yeah, I love her. I'm just curious though, because did Carmen Sandiego really talk very much?
She did talk.
She did.
Yeah, she talked.
For some reason, I always just remember her being a mystery.
She was a mystery, but that's the thing. She was never caught.
We
were always looking for her. No one ever caught her.
I need some pointers from Carmen.
Yeah.
But that's dope. But I'm excited to get into this interview with Jess.
Yes.
She's amazing, and
yeah, we're just gonna have her tell you guys about herself, because
she's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are with geologist and Democratic Congressional Nominee Jess Phoenix. We're really excited to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here with both of you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We're this cool office. We're on location today.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Really cool. So we're here because you're doing an event today. Tell us a little bit about the event and what's going on.
So we actually were fortunate to have a really nice group of people who are into science and the sci-fi world say that they would all come together and do an event for my campaign, because you know, big money plays such a role in politics that fundraise, fundraise, fundraise. It's what you need to do. And, you know, I'm a scientist. I don't have the network of lawyers that most politicians have. So this is the way we're trying to be creative and get the, you know, the acting community, the science community to come together.
Tell us a little bit about why you're running and the position you're running for, so that our viewers understand the importance of how science relates to politics.
Yeah, so I'm running for the congressional seat to represent us in the United States government, and it's the congressional seat in northern LA County, and it has a little bit of Ventura County too. So it's like Simi Valley, Porter Ranch, Santa Clarita, and all the way up to Lancaster and Palmdale. So for anybody who knows LA, it's a really big area.
Yeah.
And I'm running because, you know, I'm a scientist. I like facts and evidence, and I think that's how we should be making our decisions for our country and for everybody's futures. And so I'm like not seeing that these days in the government.
Right.
And the guy I'm running against, he's a Republican, and he's voted 98% with Donald Trump.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, since Trump took power. So that is not what our district wanted. We voted for Hillary by 7%.
Right.
So it's, you know, it's a more conservative area than a lot of LA, but it's not that conservative. And plus the times are changing, you know, people are realizing that things like getting everybody healthcare and funding science and making sure that, you know, not everybody runs around with guns. Like, these are important things.
Yeah.
That's interesting you brought that up. So what are some of the policies that you think that you want to change or maybe need to be brought forth more attention to?
Yeah, well, obviously science is a big one. We just need to fund it. A lot of people don't know that what Trump was doing, his budget proposal actually had cuts to the earthquake early warning system, to the volcano warning system, the tsunami warning system, the hurricane warning system. These things save lives. Yeah. And they're like, no, just cut the funding.
Yeah. So basically every natural disaster
that we need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
They're important, just saying.
But
and so like that's a big one. We need to keep funding, research into different diseases and things. So the National Institutes of Health need funding, the National Science Foundation, all of these organizations do so much critical work. And then we have so many protections that surprisingly, it impacts people in lower income and people of color in their communities much more than it does upper middle class white folks. Like I said, healthcare. I mean, I believe that healthcare is a right because you cannot be a full member of society if you're not healthy. So it is Women's History Month. We were chatting beforehand. But I was going to say I've been paying a lot of attention to women's issues, not just this month, but in general. Yeah. And one thing I think we really need to do is make sure we pass the Equal Rights Act. Yes. I mean, that would give so many more protections to people, and it's basically just saying that you can't treat people differently, based on their gender, and it was written specifically for women, but obviously that would open up the doors for a lot of different protections. Definitely. Yeah, for people who aren't, one gender or the other in the binary sense.
Right. So I want to ask you, you already segued into Women's History Month. Yeah. So you're a Renaissance woman. We were checking out your credentials. You've done it all. You're very adventurous.
She's jumped into volcano
jumping, all kind of things, science. So it's those careers typically you don't see too many women in the field. So have you faced any hardships because of it, or?
Yeah, there aren't a lot of role models. It's a problem. When I was looking for female volcanologists, when I was getting into the field, there were a few. I've seen it firsthand where I've walked into different job sites. I used to work in natural resources. So this is like mining. And I was the geologist who was trying to make sure things were environmentally compliant and they were efficient and that they were, looking for the right stuff, because we all want our iPhones still. So we're stuck with extraction for a little while longer until we can start to synthesize this stuff. But, on these mine sites, I walk in and it's a bunch of people. I say people, but it was dudes, and many with 6th grade educations, 10th grade educations, and I'd walk in and they go, "Oh, it's a chick." That's the first thing that you hear. They'd say it out loud. Like I couldn't hear them. Yeah. No, I just said I was in Australia, and so then the second thing when I said, "Hey, get back to work," they'd go, "Oh, it's a Yank," and I'm like, "Yankee," And then I would say, "Yeah, harden up, princess," because that's their insult. So, but then I would show them that, like, look, I'm fair, that I'm working hard myself, and that we're a team. And then then you can work through it. But so many women are not able to. They don't feel like they can talk back to somebody who is making fun of them or degrading them. And I see it a lot of times with younger women too, and girls who I'm trying to help mentor and bring up the ranks of the science community. And what I tell them is, if you don't have a belief that you are qualified to do what you're doing, it's really hard to stand up for yourself. So oftentimes I'll tell them, you have to advocate for yourself as if it was your best friend being treated that way.
Right. So that brings me to politics then. Yeah. Do you feel as though it's the same type of arena as far as the difficulty? And, we all voted for Hillary.
Yeah. Most of our viewers, I hope.
I really, really hope so.
Has it been the same for you in politics? And then I know I wasn't going to bring it up, but this whole Stacey Dash thing running in Compton. People might say that she's making a mockery of it, being that she is a woman. How do you feel about women in politics?
You know what? I think that it's, we need to push to be more inclusive in general, right? And one of the ways that we can check how inclusive we're being is how many women are serving. And right now it's about 19% of Congress. Yeah. And women make up 51% of the population. So you don't have to be a math major. Yes. So we need to work to move those numbers up. And studies have actually shown that when the number of women in a governing body, in a legislature, hits 30%, the laws you make start to change. That's when the whole society starts to shift. So I think we're headed in the right direction. But I will say, I've been called a piece of ass on social media. Not even a hot piece of ass or sexy, just a piece of ass.
Get it right.
Just like, oh look, you're a thing.
She's everything.
But I was like, come on, at least put some descriptive term in there. But and that's okay. You roll with it. I mean, it's like you're putting yourself out there in the public, you expect it.
Right.
But then, it's what's weird is one of the things I was told, and this is by Democrats, when I first started running, it was just sort of like a crash course, here are things you need to know. And it was, well, you should go by Jessica. And I'm like, my name is Jess. My legal name is Jess. And they were like, but you should go by Jessica so that people will know that you're female. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they'll figure that out. And I said, you know what? I don't need to, that's not my number one thing, is that I'm a woman. It just happens to be that I'm female. So that was an interesting point of advice. And then I also heard women have to be strong and warm. Men can get away with strong, with angry, with kind. They can do many things and they can be just one thing at a time. Women, we have to be strong and warm. If you can be just strong, then they're like, oh, she's not warm.
Because we have to make them comfortable with us. We have to make you comfortable versus the other way around.
So that is, and I've seen it play out. And then there's so many other issues where there's so much intersectionality in politics that people aren't acknowledging. And I think that if we want to increase diversity in our representation, we have to raise women up, we have to raise people of color up. And, I see my role as basically opening a door and getting out of the way and saying hey, come in, let's hear what you have to say. And so I'm trying real hard to listen. And, now I'm babbling, but.
Me personally, I find that to be true because, I'm not a politics person, but I think when I first met you, and I first interviewed you, you opened my eyes to a totally new aspect of it. And I think when I see a face like yours and somebody with your credentials in politics, it makes me interested. It makes me intrigued. I want to learn more.
Right.
And so I personally appreciate what you're wanting to do.
Thank you.
For this country.
Yeah. Well, it's so hard, because, and this is what I tell with the nonprofit that I run, we bring scientists into classrooms for students who come from low income communities. And we bring in scientists who look like the students. Because if you can't see yourself or somebody who's not just the cookie cutter image of politician or scientist, then you can't dream that. You can't will that into being. So it's important to open doors up for people in every area of society.
What's the name of the nonprofit?
It's called Blueprint Earth. Yes, and we bring students out to the desert to learn how to do environmental science research. And we help them get jobs and find grad schools and all that stuff. So
So I have a question because our podcast, we primarily focus on the creative world. So people in arts and dancing and singing know that. Do you have any secret?
Well, if I didn't say writing, my husband would give me some grief because I was actually going to be an English major when I was in college, and I ended up getting mad at my school's English department and then switching to history and then into science after that. But I've been writing since I was a kid, and oddly enough, I'm actually finishing up an MFA program while running for Congress.
You know what? She just does it everything.
Blows my mind.
But with that, so we're in Hollywood now, and you come to Hollywood, and there's a cross-sectionality that happens. So how do you feel about Hollywood in terms of politics and science?
Well, I'm really glad you asked because people seem to think that celebrities are not human.
Right.
They are. Newsflash, they are human. At least, well, unless it's like Garfield or something. That's not human. But but his voice actor is. But what I've found is that when I've met people through this whole process of running for office, they are so thoughtful and so insightful. And someone like Patton Oswalt, who had a fundraiser for me recently where he did stand-up comedy and he did it in our community. He used to be a wedding DJ. So, and like everybody has a past, and it's just that informs who they are and what they want to advocate for. And so a lot of the people who are coming to this event tonight that we're having, they have amazing pasts that aren't just, lap of luxury. And, we don't have a royal class here in the United States. We elevate people up based on their merits, whether that's athletic or artistic or, anything of that nature. So the people we're listening to they're normal people. They came from somewhere, and we like what they give us as a society. So then why not listen to what they think? I mean, you don't have to take their advice on everything, but listen to what they think and why. And I think you'll find some really amazing arguments for things and defenses of other things and advocacy for things. Like Alyssa Milano's doing some fantastic advocacy work. She's doing amazing things. And so many people. It's just, it's really incredible to be part of a movement of people who want to see facts and evidence in government. And you can be anybody to appreciate facts.
Right, absolutely.
You can be an artist, you can be creative, you know?
Not alternative facts, real
yes,
facts.
but actual facts.
Actual facts.
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I think we can just go on a tangent. Can you just let everyone know where they can find you, where to register to vote, all that?
Okay, so if you're in California, the register to vote thing's easy. It's lavote.net. That's for here, this local area. Southern California. And then, nationwide, just Google register to vote, and that will take you to whatever website is local to you, probably will come up first. But if you are going to be 18, you can pre-register, I think, as young as 16. So yes, for the younger viewers, do that. And then I'm on Twitter a lot because I really think I like to communicate directly with people. And I know the internet, you've got a keyboard in between, but I like the other day at the March for Our Lives, a lady messaged me on Twitter when she found out I was at the march in Santa Clarita, and she said, I'd really like to bring my kids by to meet you. And I said, I'm going to be at the left side of the stage after I speak. Come get me. And she did.
She did.
So I met her kids. So Twitter is Jess Phoenix 2018, okay? And then Facebook is, it's Facebook normal page. You have to look up Jess Phoenix, but it's facebook.com/JessPHX. It's the Phoenix airport code. And I just sort of,
That's
creative.
That's
so
creativity.
Yeah, and then online, my website's jess2018.com. So
Awesome.
yes.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. I know you're a very busy girl.
Thank you both. We're excited.
No, absolutely. We're excited for you. We want to support you in any way that we can. Our viewers, I'm sure, would love to support you. So thank you so much.
So thank you all. And if anybody wants to get involved, we need volunteers and we need people. If anybody can donate, if you're an American citizen or a green card holder. So there you go.
Perfect. Yeah, because I wanted to ask, how could people, maybe people who aren't in your district, how could they support you? And
that's it. I mean, and we have online opportunities for volunteering, and even like $5 donations make a huge difference in pushing back against the big corporate money.
Right.
So yes, everything counts, and it's not just me; it's every candidate who's running a grassroots race.
Right. And I think everyone needs to know that it starts at this level. When you're talking about the presidency and Senate seats and all of that, we have to go to our local elections and
local folks. Yeah,
that's where it starts. That's where it starts.
And you know what? Everybody needs a voice, and the easiest way to have a voice is to go give somebody $5, which is sad. That's not the system we should be in, but that's what we have for now. Until you get people in office like me who are going to change it.
There you go.
Total dork.
Thank you
so much. Everyone, thank you for viewing and staying tuned with us. And make sure you check out Jess. We'll have all of her information and social media listed for you guys. I am Sharíck LaMay.
I'm j.Pin.
And that's it, you guys. Thank you. Lights out.